This is Chris with Dive Zone Scuba for another technical diving tips, techniques, and trips video. This is part 4 in our Backplate and Wing Systems series. If you haven't seen parts 1 through 3, you may want to view those prior to viewing this video. There are many videos on YouTube and the internet on how to assemble a DIR type single piece of continuous webbing backplate and harness system. Since there are plenty of those out there, what I'm going to do in this video is demonstrate how to assemble an adjustable, releasable buckle backplate and harness system. You can also use the techniques in this video in the event that you do have a one-piece DIR harness and you would like to make it adjustable and releasable. You may want to stay tuned till the end of this video for a new certification program that we are offering for our new backplate and wing divers. What I'm going to be using for the build in this video is the Mares stainless steel heavy backplate, and I believe this is the heaviest backplate on the market. It's around 4 kilograms or 8.8 pounds. And so as you have seen possibly in some of the previous videos, this is made of very thick stainless steel and weighs quite a bit. So there's probably some people out there that could actually dive without any weight using an aluminum 80 if they had this heavy backplate. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to use this backplate for our build, and we're going to get started weaving the webbing through the plate. After you decide what type of harness that you're going to be building, you can then proceed to set up your webbing. This particular harness is going to be an adjustable harness, an adjustable and releasable buckle harness. And so I have several pieces of webbing here. Of course, if you were going to be doing a true DIR harness, you would only have one piece of webbing. Alright, so here's what these pieces of webbing do. So there's one 6-foot piece of webbing, of stiffer webbing, and that is going to be for the shoulder part of the harness. And then we have 2 pieces of more flexible webbing, which is going to be the lower adjustable strap part of the harness. We have 2 3-foot sections, which are going to form the waist strap. And then lastly, we have 1 4-foot piece of webbing, which is going to be used for the crotch strap. So we have a total of 6 pieces of webbing here in order to build an adjustable releasable harness. In this step, we're going to install a grommet on the shoulder part of the webbing, and it is necessary to install a grommet in this section because of the way the plate is designed. You would need to have the grommet so that the bolts supporting the tanks, for example, would be able to go through the harness. Alright, so I'm taking a punch here, and what I'm doing is I'm cutting a hole in the webbing right there. You can see the hole. And then the next step, because you don't want that to possibly fray, the next step is to take a grommet and put the grommet in here. So this is a special type of grommet called a spur grommet, which holds much stronger than a normal grommet. And so it has like little teeth. You can see the little teeth on the side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to install that with a grommet die set. And we now have our piece of webbing with our grommet so that the bolt can pass through the webbing and not wear. This part of the process is pretty much standardized between plates. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take the 6-foot piece of webbing that has the grommet, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting it behind it, and we're going to be weaving the webbing, the 2-inch webbing, from underneath to up here so that it's tight. And I'm going to do both sides. You have to make sure that these are matched up. I think I might have twisted it already. And you need to pull that tight, and you want it to be even so that the grommet is visible from underneath the plate. Okay, so you want to get that tight and you want to get that even. So we have that right here now. Alright, so then the next part is we're going to be taking the harness again, make sure it's not twisted, and we're going to be feeding it through the top here. And we're going to do that for the other side. Okay, so if you have this set up properly, then what's going to happen is the straps are going to come out of the plate over the back like that. Okay, so we now have our two shoulder straps here. We also need to decide what type of releasable adjustable harness buckle we're going to use, and 2-inch plastic harness buckles are not created equal, so your choice of buckle can be very critical. So going from left to right, I have a more standard type buckle here. This comes in different colors. I have some in gray right now. Some manufacturer wings have different colors, so this is a gray one that typically matches some of the Maras and some of the Dive Right bladders. And then we have another type here. This is a little more robust, and this one also has the ability to be replaced if necessary by unscrewing this bar. So plus and minuses to the use of a replaceable bar. And then the last one here, this is a mil-spec buckle. This is the one that we're going to be using for this build, and this has a release like that. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using this set of buckles for our build in this video. What we're going to do next is assemble the upper buckle component, and I'm going to take the shoulder strap and I'm going to put a tri-glide on it. And I'm going to put the buckle on, and then I'm going to feed the webbing back through the tri-glide. This webbing is very stiff, So it can be a little difficult to complete this process. Okay, we're going to pull everything tight, and we have the upper buckle assembly completed. I am now going to work on the lower half of the releasable adjustable buckle, and I have never seen anybody else use this particular technique, and so it's a bit different than what most people do. What most people do in order to thread the waist part, particularly with a DIR type harness, is they take the tri-glide and they put it on the back of the plate, and what that does is it helps it not slip. Which is what we're interested in doing, but we're going to be doing it a different particular way with our setup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to thread the tri-glide through, and I'm going to leave about maybe 9 inches here or so. The exact amount is not horribly critical, and I'm going to weave it through the inner hole, which is like the conventional method. And then I'm going to take the other part and then weave it through back out through the same hole, and I'm going to put it through. I'm going to put it through here like you would ordinarily use a tri-glide. All right. So what this is going to do, it's going to act as a mount for the bottom here, and this particular way of doing this, it cannot slip. And then I'm going to take this part here, the loose part, and I'm going to thread it through the adjustable part of the buckle, coming out here like that, and got to make sure this is not twisted again. Okay, and then down through here like that. Okay, and then the buckle fits like that, and you can pull the strap down like that, and what it will do is it will then allow you to adjust the strap. An optional thing that you can do here is you can fold this over and either use a tri-glide or sew a D-ring in there just to help you pull it down. But that's more of an optional thing for people to do. Now we have the 3-foot section of waist strap, and what we're going to do is we're going to feed that through the same tri-glide, and again you're likely going to have to push it back a bit. The fit here can be very tight. I have actually taken a piece of this and beveled and burned the end of it to make it a bit easier to handle. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to stick that through both sides here with some difficulty. And let's see if I can pull this through. Sometimes it helps you if you have a slip joint plier to be able to pull that. Okay, and then now I can pull the whole thing back through again. And this is extremely secure. You can have a little bit of a tail there and stick that down in there, depending upon what your desires are. But this is not going to slip. Okay, so this now forms the right-hand side of the waist belt. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the left-hand side all in one shot, since I've already explained how to do it, and then we'll go to the next step after that. We are now going to do the crotch strap, and crotch straps are essential items for any plate and wing. And this is going to be the bottom part. And this is going to be the top part. And of course, you will have to adjust that as necessary. Oop. Let's put the D-ring on here. And we're going to feed this back through. Since we're using thinner, more comfortable webbing for the crotch strap, sometimes we found out that this thin webbing sometimes does slip. So the solution to that is just to put it through a third time, and that usually solves the problem. Probably need to put a little more through here. Okay, so that forms your loop for your top. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're then going to install this on the bottom of the back plate. And you can actually get fancy with the crotch strap. Something fancier than this, you can actually put in an adjustable releasable buckle as well. But this is a simple version of it. And so what's going to happen is we're going to have our waist belt come over here, and then our other section with the buckle, which we're going to be talking about next, is going to go over there. So that's going to be your crotch strap. Now we're going to talk about different items that you would install onto the waist strap. And the first thing that you would be considering is the attachment of a D-ring. So you have conventional style D-rings that are like this, that pivot back and forth like the one on the shoulder strap. And then you have some that stick out 90-degree angles like that, and then varying angles like that, and some that are actually more flat like that. And then of course there are specialty type belt accessories that do also in some capacity perform the function of a D-ring. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to install a standard one. These come in different sizes as well. Let's attach the big one on here. So then you're going to thread this through, and then you have your D-ring, and then you have your tri-glide. And you want to make sure you have it oriented properly. You want to make sure you have that oriented properly on this. Alright, so we're going to move this down toward the end, like that. And of course, if you're a technical diver, you would hang whatever on here. If this is the left side, I would say decoke tank, but some people don't like carrying on the right hand side. And then on the other side of the webbing, we would do the same thing. I'll stick a different type on there. I'll stick this flat one on there like that. Flat ones are very handy. You don't have to worry about them flipping over, so when you're trying to snap on a bolt snap, they're much easier. Okay, and then the next thing you're going to be putting on here is some kind of buckle. Okay, so you can find very inexpensive, very poorly constructed buckles like this on the market.
or you can get a little bit better ones for just a couple bucks more. Note how this end slot is twice as wide as the other one. Alright, so when you install this, you have a choice. You can either put the excess on the outside or you can put the excess on the inside. And depending upon which way you want to do that, what your personal preference is, you would weave it that particular way. Alright, so let's say I'm interested in having the excess on the inside here. Okay, so what I would do in that case is I would come down over the top like that, and then I would weave it up through it, then down on the bottom, through it like that, and then I would turn it over, pull that tight against the buckle, and then put it in the bottom like that. Okay, so then if you wanted to, you could have a rubber band or something like that that would tie that in. And then we would have our other side of our buckle, which would feed in this way, and then get clamped down. Okay, now you could also do it the other way. Some people prefer to do it that way. I think it's entirely a personal choice. Some people like it on the top, some people put it on the bottom. The one disadvantage of putting it so that the excess comes out of the top is there is a small potential for it to interfere with you putting something in the D-ring, for example. Okay, so in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to come in through the bottom, go down through the top, come back up through the bottom, and then go through it like this. And I'm sure somebody will say, oh, that's absolutely the wrong way to do it because something could interfere with your buckle. I just mentioned that. Okay, so it's a preference, individual preferences to what you want to do. A lot of people cut this off short, so that's not an issue anyway, any way you look at it. And again, this goes through here, through the top like that. Okay, so that would be the basic harness. Let's put the crotch strap in there. Here's the crotch strap. And of course, some people prefer to slide it over the buckle. Some people don't like it over the buckle. Again, that's one of the personal preferences that you have. If you did want this to go over the buckle, it needed to be a little bit wider to fit over the buckle. Another thing that some people do is they will actually take this and they will put a second buckle on there. I think some certifications agencies do subscribe to that. I've never seen a metal buckle like this actually fail during a dive that would make any difference like that, but that's just the conservative approach. Alright, so that's the basic harness. This is the complete adjustable and releasable harness system. As you can see, it is very easy to loosen the harness or to tighten the harness depending upon what wetsuit or dry suit you are wearing. The harness can also be easily released in the event of an emergency or for convenience. One thing that is not completed on this harness yet is the possible inclusion of a plastic D-ring on the end of the adjustable shoulder strap to make it easier to adjust.
At the beginning of this video, I mentioned a special program for our new backplate and wing divers. With the purchase of a complete backplate and wing system, we're offering a complimentary back mount doubles, self-reliant, or videography course. These are all types of diving which require or are greatly enhanced by the increased diving performance of backplate and wing systems. So we are very happy to offer this special program. Please bear in mind that all course prerequisites do apply. This is Chris with Dive Zone Scuba. I hope this video was helpful, and thanks for watching.